Hello everyone. Today I want to talk about something that, even now, most people find genuinely difficult to believe when they first hear it. The idea that your gut is not just responding to your brain, but actively controlling it, not influencing, not contributing to, controlling, in ways that are measurable, documented, and happening right now as you watch this. And what I find even more remarkable is how quickly that control can shift in both directions, toward clarity, stability, and motivation, or away from it. Research suggests the timeline for meaningful gut-brain change can be as short as 7 days. That is what I want to walk you through today. First, let me give you the architecture. Your gut and your brain are connected through a network called the gut-brain axis, a bidirectional communication system involving the vagus nerve, the enteric nervous system, the immune system, and a continuous exchange of hormones and microbial metabolites. Most people assume the signal flows primarily from brain to gut. The direction is actually reversed. According to research, approximately 80 to 90% of the signals traveling along the vagus nerve flow from the gut upward to the brain, not the other way around. Your gut is talking. Your brain is mostly listening. What is your gut saying? That depends almost entirely on what's living in it. Your gut bacteria produce neurotransmitters and their precursors directly. Serotonin, dopamine, GABA, and acetylcholine are all synthesized or regulated in part by microbial activity in the digestive tract. Roughly 90% of the body's serotonin is produced in the gut. Not stored there temporarily, produced there, by specific bacterial strains, from dietary precursors like tryptophan. According to research, the gut microbiome is one of the most responsive biological systems we have access to. Unlike genetic expression or structural brain changes, microbial composition can shift measurably within days of consistent dietary input. In one study, participants who increased dietary fiber and fermented food consumption for just 1 week showed measurable changes in gut bacterial composition and parallel shifts in self-reported mood, perceived stress, and cognitive clarity. The gut changed first. The brain followed. Day 1 of any meaningful gut-brain shift begins with fermented foods. Day 2 and 3 are about prebiotic fiber, the fuel that feeds the bacteria already living in your gut. Garlic, onion, leek, asparagus, oats, slightly underripe bananas. These foods contain specific fermentable fibers that selectively feed beneficial bacterial populations, including lactobacillus and bifidobacterium. As these populations grow, their output of short-chain fatty acids increases. Butyrate in particular, one of those short-chain fatty acids, crosses the blood-brain barrier and has direct anti-inflammatory and neuroprotective effects on brain tissue. According to research, higher butyrate availability is associated with improved mood regulation, reduced anxiety-like behavior, and better cognitive performance. You are feeding bacteria that are feeding your brain. By day 4, if the dietary inputs are consistent, something else begins to shift. The vagus nerve signaling pattern. The vagus nerve is the primary physical highway of the gut-brain axis. Its tone, a measure of how actively and efficiently it transmits signals, is directly influenced by the microbial metabolites it is exposed to in the gut. According to research, higher vagal tone is associated with greater emotional resilience, faster recovery from stress, better heart rate variability, and more stable mood. In one study, dietary interventions that increased short-chain fatty acid production showed measurable improvements in vagal tone markers within 4 to 5 days. The gut was literally tuning the nervous system. Day 5 and 6 bring a shift that many people notice subjectively before they can explain it: a reduction in the urgency of cravings, a slight improvement in sleep quality, a sense that the baseline anxiety they've normalized has dropped a register. This is the serotonin gut loop beginning to stabilize. As beneficial bacterial populations increase and inflammatory load decreases, tryptophan availability for serotonin synthesis improves. The gut sends a calmer, more stable signal upward. The brain's default mode begins to shift. According to research, this timeline, 5 to 7 days of consistent dietary change, aligns with documented improvements in self-reported psychological well-being in intervention studies, even without any changes to medication, therapy, or other lifestyle variables. By day 7, you are not looking at a healed gut or a transformed brain. You are looking at the beginning of a different trajectory. Microbial shifts initiated in 7 days can compound over weeks into genuinely meaningful changes in microbiome composition. The serotonin signal that is slightly more stable today becomes more stable still next week, as the bacterial populations producing its precursors continue to grow. The vagal tone that improved slightly on day 4 improves further as the gut environment continues to settle. The trajectory matters more than the destination. What I want you to take from this is not that 7 days fixes everything. It doesn't. But 7 days is enough to demonstrate to your own nervous system that the system is responsive, that the fog can lift slightly, that the baseline can shift, that your brain is not fixed in its current state. Your gut is talking to your brain right now. The question is what it's saying. And the answer to that question is more within your control than almost anything else about your mental and physical experience. I hope this gave you a genuinely different way of understanding the relationship between what you eat and how you feel. Drop a comment and tell me what you noticed after a week of eating differently. I read all of them. If this was useful, hit the like button and share it with someone whose mood you think is being blamed on the wrong cause. And if you're new to Nutriflow, subscribe and hit the bell. This is exactly the kind of content we make here. See you in the next one.